About my bike and put some dollars in your face.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Beat Cam Podcast. We are broadcasting over motorcyclemadhouse.com right now. How's everybody doing? We got China Dow and Mike in. Danny might be a little late. He'll come in later on in the show. Happy Mother's Day.
Yes,
Yay.
happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, first and
Mommy's
foremost, to China
Day.
Doll. And to
Happy.
the rest and the
You
mothers.
got to talk into your mic here.
What?
There you go.
Thanks.
What did you forget?
Yes. I slept like almost all day yesterday. So yeah.
All
I'm
day
super
yesterday,
jealous.
today, and then you just come back from Iowa and stuff like that.
I just flew back. Yeah. I woke up your guys' time. So now I'm back over here on the West Coast and 2 hours behind. I'm tired, but it's all around. But look, I'm still here. I'm here.
You're still here, huh? What's up in the chat room? We got Steve, Grumpy, Chicago. Rock and roll. Today, we got 12 life lessons you don't have to learn the hard way. And Mike, it's everybody's always learning the hard way with shit.
Dude, I swear, I did too, man. I learned the hard way. Shit. Sometimes you learn the hard way. It is what it is, but you got to take that as possibly a lesson. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing. A lot of people don't take a lot of lessons in life. Instead, they turn negative, and it's like they wonder why people don't want nothing to do with them.
Right.
I know China Doll, you have to deal with this all the time where you got negative people around you. And do you really want to deal with a negative person?
No, I don't, because negativity brings you down. So you don't want to deal with somebody that's negative. Because if they're negative all the time, then you're going to get negative, and then everybody's going to be angry. And then, no, that's not how to live.
And she's right, Mike. That ain't a way to live. What I don't understand is why people feel like they got to waste a minute of their life being a negative person.
Man, I don't understand the concept of why people got to be so negative on such the minuscule things. Everything is taken so for granted for days. I mean, everything in life is taken for granted, in my opinion, until you go through something so like life traumatic and it's like flash of an eye. That's when you realize, like, it's like, whoa, man, like just being able to breathe this air right now is a blessing. Being able to wake up is a blessing.
We know a lot of people think that way, China, especially those, if you ever heard about near death experiences and stuff, they always come back changed. And I can't put that question to you, but I couldn't to Michael, because he went through one of them things. And you actually said you died, didn't you?
4 times during the whole 26 days, because it was internal bleeding and external bleeding, and it was uncontrollable.
Now, let me ask you this. Now, this is a very interesting one before we get into our main topic. You said you died 4 times.
Correct.
Is it what they say it is?
No. I remember kind of like going into like one of them, it was apparently while I was in surgery. One of them was while I was in the bed. There was or it was a couple in the surgery room. Either way, it wasn't like anything that I could remember and I could specifically go, oh yeah, it all went white or all went black. And it was.
Are you a heathen?
I don't even know what that means.
You a heathen? Is that why you didn't see that light? But
no,
go ahead.
I am I am a believer, but I will say, I didn't. It's hard when you go through something so traumatic like that, man. It just changes you. I think it chemically even changes. It changed me. It really does transfer somebody's opinion and mind state on life going through something so tragic.
I bet, man. But you didn't feel no lights. You didn't feel. Did you know that you were gone? It was just black.
Nah, it's just kind of like if like I just woke up from a nap or whatever, you know. It wasn't anything like I crazy that I could tell you. I mean, I wish I could kind of tell you guys something that like, man, I felt like I was like walking up the pearly gates, you know. No, nothing.
You need to smoke more weed and go talk to Jesus.
Yeah, no, I've
yeah.
gotten some really more religious experiences here at this house smoking than that experience. So,
But that did lead you into knowing that, hey, life is sacred and you have to be able to be positive instead of negative. Do you know, China, now that a lot of people make it their mission to make other people?
I think that's a lot of people's goals in life is make everybody pissed off. Because if their life is shit, they think everybody else's should be too.
Do you find that, Mike, the same way?
It's an insecurity within them. It's an insecurity within them. They don't bring anything of value to themselves and or anyone else around them. They just, if you're tearing somebody else down or you're hating or whatever, you know what I mean? I get the jabs and the jokes. That's different. But when it comes down to that pure like hatred, I don't know. I feel like that's a definite you problem, you know, especially when we're out here on the internet like this, like how you guys know us like that, you know, you don't know us day to day.
Well, you know what? The one platform I've been studying lately is TikTok. And, you know, because I'm looking at changing things around and stuff like that with, you know, we had the launch of Madhouse Radio. And I'm really into that kind of stuff. And I look at the comments and other creators' content, and it's just like nothing but freaking idiots out there. Nothing but haters, if you will.
It's fake profiles. It's trolls. It's these fake accounts, really. Like my biggest video that ever went viral on TikTok hit 1.3 million views. All of that, pretty much, I would say 95% of the video was hated on. You know what I mean? They were all hateful comments.
And what's that tell you?
It was only about a vendor. Like it wasn't even about like a specific person. It was just a person making a drink. You know, out front of my house where I used to live back before I moved here. You know, and it was like, dude, they made every reason to hate on that, which it's hilarious, but it made it ultra freaking viral. Which is ironic, but ironically, guys, I don't know. I'm just gonna let you guys know. I hit 1.3 million views on that thing, and you ain't get paid nothing on that. So I don't know why people even play with it.
Everybody thinks you're a millionaire when you're a freaking content creator. Let me tell you that.
Well, that's the thing. That's they look at those viewed count or like those followers as like a currency, like, and people feel like that's an actual currency to them. Like, oh, I have 10,000 followers. Like that defines you. You know what I mean? Like that defines you as a content creator. That don't mean nothing, man.
Right. China Doll, you agree, man? The pure hate that you see on TikTok.
Oh, I get a lot. I do. Lately, I get a lot. I don't care. Y'all just must be bored.
They don't have Jesus.
It's a lot of boring.
They all need some Jesus.
They all need Jesus right now.
Jesus. I do TikTok just for fun. I don't do it to prove anything to anybody. I don't care how many followers I have, how many likes I have. I don't care. I do it for fun. It helps me release anxiety. So, I mean, you want to hate on it, hate on it. I just will delete your comments. I don't care.
But what does that say to him as a person, Mike, that you actually have to go on there and spew the negativity? Is it, you know, if they're out on TikTok doing it, they're probably doing it to somebody in real life, probably their spouse.
Well, if they even have a spouse, that's the whole thing. I think, I mean, you got to think the biggest consumers in America right now are, believe it or not, people that are single. So that's kind of an interesting topic about, you know, that is a actual targeted market right now. And so single audiences, that's the biggest device right now. Like, you know, the whole...
it's funny you say that, because if you turn around, Mike, you can tell who's single and who's not just by the way they act.
Totally. Fact. There's a lot in my experience of just dealing with people. It just seems like people that are single, they act way out of character. Like then you would have seen them when they were just in a normal relationship, not anything abusive. I'm not talking anything crazy like that. Just normal people. And then all of a sudden they're single and they have a totally different life. It's like, why aren't you the same dude when you're hooked up with this chick? Every time you hook up with another broad, we don't see you. You know what I mean? Now all of a sudden you're gone. You know, you're nowhere to be seen. You know.
Well, I'm going
those
in
are
the
come and
direction.
goers.
I'm going to the direction that China, that they're single because they are miserable people.
Well, most miserable people are single because they can't handle the they piss off who they're with. And the person that they're with doesn't want to be miserable. So that's why they stay single.
Yeah, you got these guys, you know, got real big thumb muscles, you know, typing on the internet, you know, that got 30 followers or 0 followers on TikTok, but I'm supposed to care about what you got to say, dude. Come on, man. Like, get real. You got no profile picture, or you got some anime character, dude. Like, get real with yourself. You know,
Well,
I don't even care.
exactly. But it just amazes me, though, that people want to go through life like that. You know, I thought life was so much more, and it can end at any point in time. And here you are spending your time being a douche.
Facts. You know, that's something that I mean, I preach to my audience. It's pure positivity. You know what I mean? Like for me, like I say, if I can just wake up the next day, I get to live another day. I get to see my beautiful family. I can ride my motorcycle. I can do whatever I want. You know what I mean? That's the beauty of life. You make it what you make it, you know, and nobody can do you better than you. So why not just, you know, I think people are just too miserable. And then you've got these, especially like, you ever hear these people that are codependent on each other, where they're like depressed couples, you know, they're depressed and they're together. Why would you want to be depressed together? But they want to be together because they're depressed. And to me, that just sounds like two people that don't want to put in the hard work. It sounds like laziness to me.
Well, it does.
No accountability, you know.
I think this is a good lead in to what we got going on today. And China, throw out the number one.
You can't change people.
Yep.
And what it says is, this is a classic lesson that most people learn the hard way, but they shouldn't have to. Like, ask yourself this: how hard is it to change a habit that you've had for many years? It's not easy. Well, now try to imagine changing someone else. It's virtually impossible.
It's like, why do you try? Why try changing somebody if you know that's all that they're about?
Well,
I mean, I always thought I was here just for worrying about myself and not worrying about changing other people. I just need to change myself and keep myself in the positive.
Here's the flip side to it. If I can affect and save just one life from doing what I do, then I did my job. And I'm not saying that as a cliche saying. I mean that full-heartedly. I get messages all the time that make me just go, damn, dude, like, wow, I cannot believe that held that kind of effect for you. You know what I mean? Like, if I can provide that, oh my God, like, that's amazing. You know,
what if they don't want that positivity? What if they don't want to change? And most of the people out there that are like that, they don't want to change.
Facts.
They'd rather blame everybody else for their issues.
Yeah. No, they would. It's a lot of finger pointing and no pointing thumbs. You know what I mean? No accountability taken. It's I'd rather dodge everything and just throw it on to the next person, and then he'll throw it down to the next person.
Well, you just said what Steve said. A lot of people feed off each other's bullshit.
Facts. Yep. And they love it. They love drama and bullshit. Fact.
What? Why are you looking at me weird?
We got to get your input here.
Well, I don't want, I mean, the one thing, you can't change somebody if they don't want to change. So unless somebody comes to you asking for help and asks for your help to change something about themselves, there's nothing you can do. You can give your advice till you're blue in the face, but unless they're willing to change, they're not going to.
I have to ask, is it your responsibility as a person to help somebody else change?
No.
No, it can't be. We cannot be held reliable or responsible, rather, for somebody else's fuck ups. We just can't. We just can't take accountability for somebody else and their decisions. We just can't.
So I got to ask, we'll go around the table here. First China, now then Mike. Why do people feel like they have to help somebody out or take it upon themselves the responsibility for somebody else's actions?
I don't think anybody really feels like they're responsible for anybody else's actions. I think the actions speak for themselves from the person who put them out there. I mean, me personally, I'm willing to help people mainly through words. I mean, that's all I can give to people is my opinion. I can't do anything else. I mean, I've heard a few people that have left comments like on my YouTube stuff, my shorts and whatnot, or I even got a text today saying that, you know, we helped somebody and we're keeping people positive, making them think more about what they do and what they say.
Well, I think that's, you know, as a creator, we do that type of stuff. But personally, Mike, I think where me and you differ is you like, maybe it's because you're younger, you know, you see more ahead of you, where you love giving, you know, the positive advice and taking it upon yourself to help somebody out. Where me, it's like, you know what, screw you, man. You got to learn, do it yourself. I ain't here to be freaking hold your hand.
Right. Now, and I can also understand that, you know, especially when it comes to like a culture thing, like, you know, like club life, for instance, you know, but when it comes to like that, I don't know. I understand that you don't necessarily want to give free game to people that don't necessarily deserve it. You know, 95% of those people probably don't deserve the game that you would be giving out, you know?
Well, for example, let's put it in an example here where on Insane Wheels, I was talking about repos and stuff like that. And it basically comes down to me, pay your bill.
Right.
You signed your contract, pay your bill.
You know what
And
you
then
signed up for.
And then the next thing that comes out, well, it really wasn't my fault. I lost my job, blah, blah, blah. Well, you
No
signed the
accountability.
contract.
No accountability there. There's a contract. Exactly. And that's what the contract states. With your signature, if you fault on these payments, we're going to come get it.
So do you feel like there's an excuse for them if they say, well, I lost my job, I didn't know it at the time
No.
that I signed the paper?
No, it's a zero excuse. Dude, I've had zero income for the last 2.5 years, 2 years or two, whatever, plus years. Incredible that I can somehow, some way still make it. Because I'm going to make it happen.
Right. Do you think people trying to lack that where they'd rather feel sorry for themselves than to fix it?
This actually fits with the number 2 today, saying you're the only person who can change your life.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody likes to blame external factors when things don't work out as they planned in their own life. But the problem is you need to learn, like Mike said a little bit ago, you got to take ownership and accountability instead of blaming others. If you sign a contract for a vehicle or a Harley or whatever, your house, you got to do what you got to do to pay your bills. It's no one else's fault. Your bills don't get paid, but your own.
Mm-hmm.
You can't blame anyone else.
Why do people feel that ownership's a bad thing, Mike. They'd rather make excuses.
It's easier. It's easier to do. And with the ideology of today, people just go, "Oh, it's okay. It's okay. We understand." That's people are like getting handed life on a platter like that. And they think that it works in every case. No, it doesn't work in the case of a mortgage. No, it doesn't work in the case of, a motorcycle payment or a car note or whatever. You know what I mean? You got to pay your bill. If you don't pay your gas bill, what's going to happen? They're going to come shut off your gas. You know what I mean? I don't understand why people think they can get something for free that they use. These are resources that we use up every day. How do we not owe something? Come on, man.
And then they claim victimhood, China.
Yeah, they're the
Is
victim.
the victim card the go-to nowadays?
That seems to be the go-to card, that everybody's always a victim. Everybody's always the victim. Their power's getting shut off, but they're the victim because they should have given them more time. No, pay your bill.
It's quite funny if you know history. And this can tell you just how good the generation, 2 generations ago were before the baby boomers. Roosevelt is actually the president that instituted Social Security. And it was a safety net, which I believe in, for older Americans to not be destitute.
Right.
But what does that tell you about the generations that didn't have it? They understood responsibility and planning their own stuff out. Where if they had to eat, they went to work. They didn't rely on the government to make everything better for them.
You're right.
Where today we have generations that have been living on public aid, taking no responsibility for their own actions and playing the victimhood. It's just, you can see the difference in generations as you go.
You couldn't have said that any better. Every word that came out of your mouth right there was fact. It's almost like this culture of victimhood. Like, we're just going to be victims in every scenario we possibly can be. Like, whatever I can do to dodge the bullet, and I'll throw my own best friend under the bus to be able to do this. People just don't have any moral ethic and code anymore.
Mm-hmm. Is that what it comes down to, China, is ethics?
I think everything based around ethics. I'm staring at one of the comments right now.
We'll read it.
Real men, man the fuck up. You fail because you're weak. Chase says, Frank, I beg to differ, bro.
Mike, what's your thought on it?
Not everyone's going to be a winner in life. You know what I mean? Like, that's also another thing, is like participation trophy crap, that's going on, that everyone's a winner. I don't believe in that. There are winners and there are losers in this world. And usually it comes down to your own obvious decisions and your own work ethic. How dedicated you are and how much heart you got into it. So it's gonna be hard, because you're gonna have a lot of people that are lackluster in that department of work ethic, or they just can't show up on time for some reason. There's always some weird excuse in their life, it seems like.
So mostly it's excuses that really put you on the path of negativity, is what you're saying.
Yeah. And that's what I've figured out. I mean, I made the choice to get out of that bed and be happy, right? When I woke up from all this 26 days later, all the surgeries, all that stuff, right? And being so appreciative of that. It's something that if only, I wish I had, some of these people just had a little bit of taste of, man. If they just had a little bit of that taste, that they would go, man, I would actually, I understand that the decisions I make in life can lead to consequences, whatever it is. Whether I was in the right, the wrong, it doesn't matter. For every action, there's a reaction. It just is what it is.
So basically, what you're saying, it takes a life-changing event to put a negative person onto a positive outlook.
Not necessarily. It was just my decision to do so because my choice could have been, it could have been that because no one would have blamed me. I could have laid up. I could have just sat and laid in the bed and decided not to do anything and be miserable. And guess what? No one would have blamed me. But
Right.
I would have lost my entire circle. And I knew that.
Well, China Sunshine just said she ran a low-income Section 8 apartment complex, and it was sad to see the multi-generational families that thought they were unentitled to have the rest of us pay their rent.
That stuff kind of irritates me. I know people sometimes need help, but at the same time, you should also do something to help yourself, like get a job. You can go to the local McDonald's and get a damn job. Every place and any place is freaking hiring. I don't care if you say no, they're not. They are. And all it takes is you walking in there and applying, or see what you can do. Go to a library and you can apply to jobs online if you don't have access to the internet. Libraries always are open.
Well, what about that, Mike, that people feel entitled that somebody else has to pay their bills?
Yeah, it's sad. Like the whole Section 8 thing that Sunshine was saying. Like there was something that recently just came out, like within the last couple of days, I just saw it, where this woman got kicked out of her Section 8 home that she like pays like $10 a month on. Like, how do you get kicked out of that situation because you faulted 3 months in a row on that? That's crazy.
That's $30.
$30 you faulted on. That's insanity. Like there's no like I said, there's no ambition there. I don't know that I can't really speak for that kind of mindset, but I do know about the squatters, and that's something that pisses me to all heavens is that right there is people that think that they can just squat for free. And especially here in California, it's the worst, you know?
What else you got on there? You got another one?
Oh yeah, I got tons. Well, since we're pretty much talking about the same kind of situation, number 3 is life isn't always fair.
Hey, self-explanatory on that.
And a lot of people have to learn that the hard way. You have to accept the fact that life isn't always fair and it's not always going to treat you the way you expect. I mean, but good things do happen. Bad things happen, but guess what? You learn from the bad things that happen in your life and you use that down the road to better yourself.
See, I think the older generations knew that. I think the older generations knew if they didn't work and they didn't strive to be better themselves, they wouldn't survive. That's just like today, Mike. Let's just put it in this spotlight. Say that the power grid went out, EMP, or it just went out.
Sure.
No electricity. Not a lot of people would know how to survive without that electricity. Come on, we lost traditions of how to preserve food and stuff like that. And what you would probably see is a lot of people dying because they lack the effort to put into living in a situation.
Oh my gosh. Wow. We're really hitting some really good ones right now. Yes, you're right. Because there is a lack of like ambition for life itself. Like I know there's these people that are just lumping around, you know, just miserable, not willing to do anything for themselves, not willing to like if you got to tell a grown person to take a shower, you know, once a day or once every other day, like, come on, man. Like, man, that's brutal. Like you really don't give a shit about yourself, you know, like, come on, put some effort.
Well, let's put this, keep on going with his example. What?
I gotta love William R. Kraut. Gotta love him this one. Sympathy's in the dictionary between shit and syphilis. I'm sorry, that just caught me off
But
guard.
let's put this in a sick type of environment, if you will, as far as appreciating life and what it means to fight for your life. And it's fiction. But if you ever look at the statement behind the Saw movies, what would you do to live?
Yeah,
Anything.
there would
How
be
would you-
no,
I would
there would
do
be, I'd be swinging my leg, dude. I'd do anything. You know what I mean? I'd take that thing off, behead things. I don't care. I'd do anything I needed to do.
I would do anything in my power to stay alive.
So if we
care
go
what the
back to our
situation is.
example, most people wouldn't do that in a situation where they needed to do it.
No, a lot of people just give up or blame someone else. I wouldn't be in this situation if it wasn't for so-and-so. No. There probably are little things in life that could be somebody else's fault, but not everything in this world is somebody else's fault. You got to take responsibility for yourself and your actions and what you say and what you do.
Couple comments. We'll give this one the mic. Miller, I grew up with parents that worked to barely meet ends. We had several family on Section 8 and they were system abusing folks. I do agree people do need help and everyone's situation's different.
I agree people do need help.
Well, that's Mike's.
Sorry.
Then
No,
we'll go to you.
absolutely. It is. I understand people fall on hard times and people need help sometimes. But when you abuse a system that is designed for very short-term lengths of time, and I'm talking short-term. Let's go ahead and I'll say a year, 2 years. That's short-term. But if you're doing this as a livelihood, like this is what you do and you live this way and you're not getting out of this situation, there's obviously a reason why the parents are in that situation. I feel bad, Miller. I'm that's not something that anybody wants to hear. You know what I mean? But I'm sure that you can understand, that also other people's situations are different. People land on hard times and they get it, and they need it. Absolutely.
I have a question though for Miller. See if he can respond in the comments to this one. Did it make you a better person? As far as how your situation was when you grew up, did you learn from all of that? And did you not end up in the same situation and you bettered yourself?
Well, I actually hate giving this example and going back and bashing the South Side or West Side of Chicago. But when you have generations doing this after generations of thinking that public aid is a right, that's not a hand up. That's the abuse that's happening that all of us have to pay for.
And Mike Miller just answered back saying, absolutely. He's bettered himself out of it. Well, this is good. You learn from your past. You learn from what's right and what's wrong. And he just said he's a survivor and this is good. You bettered yourself. You didn't end up in the same situation. You learned maybe the difference between what was right and what was wrong, and that it's a helping hand, not a way to live. You did something better.
Life is gladiator school. You know what I mean? Like things are going to happen, man. And life, like in the previous numbers here is life is unfair sometimes, man. And yeah, life has been unfair to me too. It's been unfair to probably every single one of you guys, everyone in the chat, everyone in here. It's been unfair, but guess what? After it's been unfair, you still have magic moments. You still have amazing times in your life. You still have happy times. You still have, you know what I mean? You still have all these amazing things even after a disaster.
You know what? One thing that I can equate it to, because a lot of people, they do the social media and stuff, is you were talking about numbers and all that type of stuff earlier about followers. The ones that have the least followers are always the negative ones.
You think so?
Yep.
Am I right or wrong, Mike?
Yep. Every time I get like one of the most like nastiest dirtiest, hateful, spiteful comments, jealousy comment. You can see it in the tone
I'm
of the
talking about
text.
somebody who just jumps on the internet and wants
that's
to
what I
talk
mean. And
they
I'll
want to
click
talk
that.
to the world.
Oh no, that absolutely. But yeah, I'll see those guys all the time that you'll go to their profile and it's like, oh, 35 followers, like, oh man, you over here just claiming this like know-it-all crap, but who are you? Your troll account? Like, are you a real person? Like
China, same question. Those are the ones people don't want to follow.
No, a lot of times they don't want to follow because of the fact that they see what kind of comments. And most of the times when they have such a low following, they don't even have videos. They have like 1 or 2. So
hell, I've seen it where they might have 100 or 200 and still nobody watches them.
Because of the fact that they're always negative. They don't support the positive. I mean, a lot of people do videos like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever, to put positivity out there. We're not trying to sport any negativity from anything. I mean, we try to be as positive as possible doing Beat Cam podcast. We try being as positive. I've watched Mike's TikToks like crazy. His are all positive. He gives his opinion on all kinds of stuff, and I've read some of his comments.
And I agree with this with Sunshine's 1000% on this one.
What's that?
And people are going to say I'm cold-hearted, but she had a case in court, and the judge said to me, "Are you serious? You're evicting someone for $25?" And she replied to him that it's her rent for the month, and the rest, $975, comes out of your taxes. So basically,
it's $1,000 rent. The tenant is only responsible for $25, and then everybody else is paying the $975.
So they can't pay the $25 to actually put in the work to stay there.
Unreal.
And
you could work 2 days at McDonald's and be able to pay your monthly rent if it's only $25.
Shit, most of the time they're paying $20 an hour now at McDonald's.
You could work 1 day.
Right. Right.
But that comes to responsibility. And that's a lesson you don't have to learn the hard way is pay your bills. Nobody owes you shit. What's another one on the list?
Oh, this one I'm going to have to probably explain a little bit. Comparison is the thief of joy. What they mean is when you grew up, they're always telling people that some people have more, some people have less. That's why it's super important to focus on your own progress instead of comparing yourself to others.
But that's where the media comes in, or the government. Well, it's the rich man's fault that you're poor. No, and you know what? I'm not taking anybody's side on that, but when you say you want to tax a millionaire, say 25, 30% of his income, and you're getting a tax refund, how are you going to get pissed at him? He's actually paying. Most of the country don't pay taxes.
Right.
They get refunds.
What's that?
And it's
what's a refund?
A sad deal when you have a government saying it's the rich people's fault for doing this.
Well, and I think a lot of it too is based on, I think everybody does it in a sense on a daily basis that you compare, like, oh my God, I would so never do that. Oh my God, I would so never. Oh, maybe I would do that. You compare yourself to others, I think, a lot. I think everybody does it unknowingly, maybe.
No, that can't be. Maybe for a woman, maybe.
Well, that's because we're more in depth and more in tune with our emotions.
Well, I have literally seen where guys have gotten let's just say like someone got around with some status and they came running over there and they're looking at him going like, oh, if I become like him, I could have that. What? Stop focusing on that. Why? You're focused on the wrong thing, dude. Like, focus on yourself. Like, there is nobody better than you. I don't know why people fake the funk and try to play something else. I don't get it.
Well, see, with me, I really don't feel for them when they come and say it's somebody else's problem, because every month I got to write a check to the IRS every freaking month. And I can put it in a way that maybe they'll understand is, say they're poorer than dirt and they just won the lottery and, oh, I just won $50 million. No, you didn't. You just won 19 million because they're taking the rest from you.
Yep. Be realistic.
And you know what? Most of the time, people aren't smart enough, even in that situation, to know, hey, taking in an annuity for 20 years, you're paying less taxes than you are with a big payout.
Yeah. Yeah.
But your attitude changes when they get into the different group.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that weird? As soon as someone get some money, they get some money, and all of a sudden they're going, this is unfair. Oh, what you've been saying for the last 20 some odd years that it's cool. You know what I mean? How can
they should pay their fair share.
Well, absolutely.
That's one lesson you got to learn the hard way, is when you start making money, the more it goes if you're not educated enough with that money.
I think you got to realize too that in this day and age, the more you make, the more the government takes.
Unless you're smart. And people bitch when these millionaires, they pay hardly any taxes. Well, they know how to do their safety nets. They're using the rules. And if you're going to make it anywhere in life, you got to educate yourself. And I'm not just talking about book smart either.
My daddy always told me, fake it till you make it. I don't know where I'm making it to, but I'm going to make it somewhere.
Well, I'm going to make it.
I'm going to make it somewhere. Whether it's here or at my job, I'm making it somewhere. I don't care.
What's the next one?
Fake it till I make it. That's all.
She's missing all her cues today.
No, I'm not. God. All right. This one we might have disagreement on. All of us might. Value your friendships. Your friendships are undoubtedly important, but from time to time, we all get a little busy with work and other commitments. Friendship starts to take a back seat.
I just actually did an article on this over on our locals.com community. And you have to sit back and look at yourself and say, did the friendships really last to value them in the first place?
I think I can count on one hand how many friends I have.
Yeah,
everybody can.
I got 5.
You're nothing special.
I got
it's very select, and I do believe that you are a product of your environment. So if you're not putting yourself in the right situation with the right people, I mean, you are, and hear me out all the way through this, because I know it's been cliched and been said a different way, but you are the average of the top 5 people you talk to for no good reason. That is the true definition of where you are. You know what I mean? If you're talking to those type of people that you want to better, you're around people that want to see you rise just as much as they want to see themselves rise. That's when all right.
Well, there you go. You were right on that one where, if you want to be rich, hang out with people that have money that actually want to make it in life.
Right.
Don't hang around the people that are negative Nancy's, as China would say. You're not going to make your money that way.
Facts.
You're only going to make money with people who have money.
Yeah. I mean, being around a whole bunch of dudes on the street, that are just sitting on, drinking 40s, and you're sitting there drinking a 40 with them. Listen, man, it's time to take some accountability, man. Start pointing the thumbs. Stop pointing fingers, man. I'm tired of that shit.
Do you think it's finally coming to a head, China, where people are really getting sick of that stuff?
What, when everybody points fingers and blames everyone else
for their shit? Yeah.
God, I hope it doesn't go any further than what it goes, because I think everybody has people that blame them for problems that they had, and you had really nothing to do with it. I mean,
it's not my fault you can't pay your bills.
No, not my fault you ain't not got no friends neither.
Exactly.
Yeah, fact.
If you ain't got no friends, it's only your problem you ain't got friends. I have tons of acquaintances, and then I've got my 5 little friends.
Your 5 little friends.
And I'm not talking about my hand. Okay, that's a guy. That's a guy.
Yeah. Yeah, you
And
owe
I
me
don't think,
too.
and I don't think a lot of people,
Here's one for you.
I don't think a lot of people know how to choose friends.
No, and that's probably the hardest thing in life is how to choose friends, because I was trying so hard yesterday to actually make a YouTube short about friends, and I kept thinking it sounded stupid, so I never posted it. But and like we said in Friday's show, that when you're a kid, making friends is easy. When you're an adult, it's so much more difficult.
We got Danny just came in. What's up, Danny?
Was good.
What's
What do you
up?
Sorry
think?
I'm late, everybody. I had to take my mom and sister out for Mother's Day.
So what do you think of the subject?
I was listening for a little while. I think it's great. You guys have been doing an awesome job.
Well,
Appreciate you.
thank
But
you.
I've been off for about 15 minutes, so I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Well, what we're talking about right now is like value of friendships and how hard it is to actually make them as adults.
I'll tell you what, at 43 years old, I don't even want to make any new friends. I really don't. Like,
Keep with the acquaintances.
do I really want to go through, at our ages, do we really want to go through getting to know somebody a year later, like, okay, well, that guy was a piece of shit, and now you just wasted another year, and then you get to know a couple, and you're friends with them for a couple years, and all of a sudden the drama starts, the BS starts, you start realizing they're both full of it. Do we really have that kind of time in our lives anymore? No, we do not. I certainly don't. So no, I don't really care to make any new friends. If I do, it's a bonus. But other than that, I'm good with the people I got, and I'm truly blessed. You hear most people my age and our age that will always say, I can count on one hand how many real friends I have. I can honestly say I need all my hands and feet to count the real friends I have. I'm truly blessed to have some just awesome people in my life. But do I want to make more? No, I'm good. I got plenty. I'm good where I'm at, man.
What about you, Mike? Are you good where you're at?
Absolutely. I'm not sitting here looking for validation from outside of my circle, to be quite honest. You know what I mean? If you're not in my circle, I really don't care. You know what I mean? If it's someone I respect, of course I'm going to take it, that differently. But when it comes down to it, when I have someone from my circle, like tell me something serious, like I take that shit serious. You know what I mean? Like I know for a fact that that's what it meant, but I'm not sitting here handing out applications to be my friend. They'll come and go, and they do. That's why those acquaintances are there. I know you, you know what I mean? I know of you. We've seen each other. We've shook each other's hand, whatever. But we haven't got to really know each other. We haven't really got to chop it up. We've never been able to break bread together. If we haven't been able to relate or even be able to chat, you know what I mean? Come on, man.
Why do you think validation is so important to people, Danny?
What's my name again?
Danny.
That's right. Say it.
I was looking at it.
Anyway, the value of validation of friendship.
Yeah. Why do people feel like they have to have all these friends to be validated as a person?
I think because they're just shallow people. And realistically, most of the people that think that they have to have 1,000 friends are people that are very lonely. They'll just never admit it publicly.
Damn, that's the point.
That was fact.
People that are strong-minded and actually think for themselves and have a very strong mind, strong brain, we don't need anybody to validate who we are, So yeah, that's what I think. I just think that they're people that they care more about what others think than what they think of themselves.
Damn. That's a good way to put it right there, China.
Danny, you be deep today.
He's beating that can right now.
Yeah.
What do you think
Practicing
about
all week for this. No, I'm playing. To be honest with you guys, I gotta admit real quick publicly. I've told myself I can't smoke pot anymore when we have our weekly meetings because I
forget
have
what we
no
talked about.
idea what today's subject is. Don't remember what I said I was gonna talk about. I literally told my lady, I said, babe, I can't be smoking no more when I'm having our morning meetings with these guys, man, because I don't remember shit about shit. I don't. That's why they call it dope. Makes you stupid.
What do you think about what Danny said?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna admit one of my 5 friends is actually in the chat room. That would be Sunshine.
Yeah, that's my girl.
She's like the bestie ever.
Mhm.
And I love her comment. She says, my circle of friends looks like a Cheerio, and I'm good with that. And that's true. You
What?
don't
So it's
need to have-
crunchy and got holes in it?
It's got a hole in it. But then our lovely Kraut, he makes good sense too. He says one real brother trumps 10 fair weather friends.
No
Very
doubt.
good. Very
No
well.
doubt.
But it's like, I think keeping your circle small, it makes a lot of sense because the bigger it gets, the more bullshit.
The more negativity that falls in, right,
I
Mike?
I'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. You know what I mean? That's
I
just
think
it.
that's why I've truly been blessed with so many great people in my life, good brothers and good friends, is because I have always just been a good judge of character. I don't allow certain types of people anywhere around me. You know, if you're a cokehead, if you're a drug addict, you're a drinker, you're nothing but a drunk. All you want to do is go and party. You have no respect for your old lady. People like that, believe it or not, I don't want anywhere around me. You know, if you do drugs, you snort coke, you're at the clubhouse, you party, whatever, man. I don't judge anybody for what they do. But what I allow in my life is totally different from what I think of you. You know what I'm saying? And I've just always been lucky to get around like-minded individuals, and we're all just like, hey, you're one of me, I'm one of you.
Right.
We're you're one of us. It's just always worked out, I guess.
Well, that's a good point. Allowing these type of people in your life
Which was
is
my
a lot. Is a lot.
my problem.
Is a lesson.
That's all of our problems at one
You
time.
don't have to learn the hard way.
I allowed way too many people in my life a year or 2 ago, and found out that I shouldn't have.
Right.
I learned the hard way, but it was kind of a good lesson for me because it made me open my eyes more to who you can and can't trust.
Yeah.
Because I was too trusting, and now I've learned from that mistake not to be that way anymore.
What do you think about that, Mike? About people that have to learn that the hard way, where they really didn't have to?
It's easily avoidable, but if you just use if you trust your gut, like Danny says, like I feel like I have a really good sense of like I have like the sixth sense. I can feel who you are already. Like the eyes are the window of the soul, so I look you right in the eye, and I can tell if you're full of shit or not. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
I can tell if you're full of it. I can tell if you're on it. I can tell whatever. You know what I mean? And that's why I really like what Danny said, is because I relate to that very much so. That judge of character. Now, that doesn't mean that I haven't slipped up. I have made the wrong character choices in my life. You know what I mean? And I put the wrong pennies in the basket, let's just say. I put the wrong investment in the wrong people before. I have done stuff like that, whether it be time, money, resources, whatever.
Danny, we're looking here at Kraut. Recognizing like values in another is a serious rush of pleasure.
I don't know about all that, but I mean, it's something to be proud of, because not everybody can do that,
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm proud to say that, and like Mike just said, have I slipped up? Have I got caught slipping? Absolutely, I have, and that just made me stronger and more alert to the next person.
Took it as a lesson. Absolutely. Same here.
What do you think of what he said, China?
I wasn't paying attention.
Recognizing like values and another is
Wasn't paying attention, really.
No, I was looking up the next topic, the next one we were going to discuss.
You got to stay on top of the game here.
What?
Yeah.
Recognizing the values of another is no,
Somebody else that shares your values.
I hope a lot of people share my values. I don't know if I want to be friends with somebody that doesn't share the same values as me. Of course, there's going to be some differences between people because you don't want to be 100% the same. There's got to be something that you can debate on.
Gotta love debate. What's the next one?
This one, I'm on the fence with this one. So maybe you guys could open my eyes because it says forgiveness is the key. A lot of people learn the hard way about the power of forgiveness. Some things are truly feel unforgivable, and some people should, rightly so, be removed from your life, especially if they show no respect or concern for your well-being, meaning like your mental health, I guess. So do you forgive everybody like the saying goes, forgive and forget, or do you forgive and keep it in your back mind?
I don't believe in forgiving, but go ahead, Danny. Danny's freaking stuck.
Yeah,
Danny's frozen.
He must have gotten a FaceTime or something. I don't know.
So, Mikey, what do you think? Do you forgive and forget, or do you not forgive, or do you forgive and hold it in the back of your mind?
The forgiving part is even a hard one for me. You know, people ask me, like, do you forgive the person that, like, took off your leg? And that's a hard one to honestly answer. Like, people, like, expect, oh, yeah, you know, you forgive that person, blah, blah, blah. But do you really? You know what I mean? Like, you took something from me that it wasn't like an accident. It wasn't a freak accident. You were drinking. You know what I mean? Like, and you took that turn at 80 miles per hour. Like, that's in a neighborhood. Come on, man. Like, how do I forgive someone like that? That nearly killed me. Then as I'm laying against the side of the road, bleeding out, she just stays in her car, you know, watching me bleed out. So how do I forgive looking into someone's eyes while I'm watching myself bleed out? That's hard.
Very interesting. What do you think, Danny?
Like I said, but you guys obviously didn't hear me because my phone decided to go haywire on me here. How I live my life is God forgives. I don't. That's just how I've always lived my life. I don't forgive anybody for shit.
So you're basically like me, one and done.
Pretty much, yeah. You know, I mean, you know, I guess sometimes it can really depend on the situation, but for the most part,
Right.
even if I let you slide on a little slip up, you're basically on probation with me, and I doubt you'll ever get off of it.
Yeah.
You know, because I really do live by that code. As God forgives, I don't, man. You know, you give somebody a chance to screw you, they're gonna screw you. You know, I mean, if somebody steals from you, they're gonna steal from you again. You know, unless you chop their hand off. So my preferred method, I don't mean it literally, but then again, sometimes I do. I'm chopping your fucking hand off. You know, I'm not gonna let you do me like that. You know, that comes from being from the streets of Chicago, man. You know, the rats smell weakness a mile away. So if you're walking down the street and you're having a weak moment, you're gonna get taken advantage of. They're gonna rob you. They're gonna beat you up. They're gonna steal your car. They're gonna steal your dope. They're gonna steal your money, your gold chain, your shoes, whatever. You know, just like when you go to prison, you show weakness. Well, we all know what may happen there. You know, so yeah, at the end of the day, God forgives. I don't.
Why are you on the fence about this one, China?
Because it's super hard for me to forgive people that have fucked me over. It really is. And it's like, and I'm never going to forget. Like, I will never forget what they did to me. And I feel that a lot of it doesn't deserve me forgiving them. but them accepting the fact that they're the ones that screwed it all up.
What about Sunshine saying that
She
she
forgives-
forgives herself, which I think everybody should.
Well, she basically, I think from what she's saying is she forgives to make herself more at ease, but she's never going to forget what they did.
Mm-hmm.
So she may forgive the person, but she's never going to forget it. It doesn't mean that you're still close as you were, because now they're going to keep you in an arm's length. So I get where she's coming from, and
I think Sunshine just brought a really good topic to light.
I think what she said makes a lot of sense, because if you do forgive somebody, if you forgive them, you're not going to forget what they did, and you're going to keep them at an arm's distance and probably not talk to them about as much personal stuff as you did in the past.
Why do you think that's a good topic, Danny?
The topic I'm talking about is forgiving yourself.
That is.
I've fought that probably just about most of my life. Now, I'm not going to get into my boo-hoo story, but I've done some very bad things in my life in the past. And forgiving yourself sometimes is something you're just never going to be able to do. And it takes a lot of strength in your mind to finally forgive yourself and say, you know what, I paid my penance. I can move on in life now. And not many people are able to do that. That's a very strong word, is forgiveness, when it comes to forgiving yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Question. So when you give forgiveness to somebody else, but you can't really give forgiveness to yourself rather than giving it to somebody else, how does it still bear that same water?
Well, again, I'm sure it depends on the situation.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? But we as people, we are always our worst enemy when it comes to judging ourselves, our past. You'll see, like, we've all seen a guy that is phenomenal and paints a motorcycle and it looks great. We think it's the best paint job we've ever saw. He'll tell you, it's all right, but I could have did better. Same with a detailer, Harley mechanic, whatever. So we're always our worst critic. I think, like I said, depending on the situation, but I personally think that forgiving yourself takes way, way more than forgiving somebody else. Because for me, forgiving you for what you did, I don't care about you no more. You're not in my life. You're not a thought. You're dead to me. That day, rest in peace, you died. The shit that we've done in our past that haunts our brains at night and stuff, that stuff never dies because you can't get them thoughts out. So I think it takes a lot more strength for forgiving yourself than others.
Damn well said. Damn well said. And I think one of the biggest problems I have with China now is, and it drove me crazy with, she wouldn't listen the first time around. And she had to go through all the bullshit of the drama and all that kind of stuff because she wouldn't open her eyes. When do you have to finally open your eyes up, Mike, to what's going around you?
As soon as possible. As soon as
get away from that emotional attachment. And I think, you know what?
That's the hard part.
Danny's from the same area as I am, so I think we look at things different than you guys, but go ahead.
Not necessarily, because I am the type of guy, you fuck me over once, that's it. Like, and honestly, I don't even care if you're my family. Like, you could be my family. If you do a matter of a certain fuck up, dude, it's done. You know what I mean? Like, I have X'd out my own family for doing me bad. You know what I mean? And I'm okay with that because I know they're the ones that made that line in the sand. I didn't. They did. So I'm just responding to their actions. Just remember, for every action, there's a reaction. You know what I mean? That's the same thing. Got to have accountability.
What are your thoughts on what he just said?
I don't think I've ever forgiven myself for anything. Y'all suck.
Wow.
Well, China, I can tell you this much, honey. You're not alone.
I mean, Danny made a major point with that one. That's why I kind of sat back away from my microphone, because I'm just like, what the hell? I don't think I've ever forgiven myself for anything that, no, I haven't.
It's not easy.
No.
It really isn't. I mean, I've forgiven myself for minor things, but things I've done to people in life and some of the moves I've made back in the day, yeah, some of that stuff is just, you're never going to forgive it. You're never going to forget it, you know?
Yo,
I get it.
Steve, you just pissed off. You ain't one of us, man. You Midwest boys are a different breed for sure. I just look at your ridiculous pizza and hot dogs. You guys wish you could have a Chicago hot dog.
Yeah, no kidding.
Where you're from, they might say it's a Chicago hot dog, but it's not.
Yeah, it's Chicago style restaurant.
Do you guys even have real Mexican restaurants out there? You know,
where's that at? Where they at?
Anything authentic?
Shit, go to Humble Park. You get as authentic as you can with Mexican food, man.
Okay. Shit, I don't know. I'm just
you'll get way better Puerto Rican food in Humble Park than you will Mexican, though.
Or you to go to China. You go to Chinatown, get you Chinese or Greek town.
Yeah, I like stuff like that.
Yeah, you go to Little Italy.
That's cool.
On the south side, pretty much every Mexican restaurant is pretty authentic because that's where they're all at.
They offer corn and tortilla, right?
Freaking delicious.
Corn and flour.
Let me tell you something. No, you're at a real Mexican restaurant when they don't offer you that flour shit.
No, it's only corn.
Yeah,
it's only
that white
corn.
people ass tortilla, man.
It's two things of corn. That's what it is. Street taco.
I gotta admit, man, Chicago and New York are really the ethnicity diverse more than any other city in this country.
Hollywood. You remember when we had Sosa on our one show? And he thought like New York is the only place that has good food, and Little Italy and Little Puerto Rico and all. I'm like, bro, we got Humble Park, we got Little Italy, we got Greektown, we got Chinatown. He's like, oh, for real? I'm like, man, you gotta get out of New York, dog. See, that's why you be talking shit, because you don't know.
Steve, he has people in Chicago, and they are definitely Mexican and El Salvadorian. So the food is legit.
Hey, man, as long as it's legit. If it's legit, it's legit. It was an honest question.
Bro, so I went out to dinner last night with my lady and her family and everything. We took the kids out, doing like a early day Mother's Day thing because she had to work tonight. And so we're at this restaurant. It's called El Camino's in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And we walk in and we're sitting there. Now, we just had a horrible experience at another restaurant last weekend. So we're all kind of like, I don't know if I want to order anything Mexican anywhere right now, you know? So the waiter walks up and I'm like, man, I'll say, hey, you Latino, right? And he's like, yeah, bro. I'm like, you Mexican, Puerto Rican, Dominican, what? It was on Mexican. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, how are the El Pastor tacos? And he's like, oh, they're pretty good, man. They're pretty good. I said, bro, don't lie to me, man, because I'll fuck you up. Mm-hmm. I'm like, where are you from? And he goes, Waukegan, Illinois, man. I just moved up here. And I'm like, all right. You're from Waukegan. You might know a little something. And he goes, I'll be honest with you. They're a solid 7 out of 10. And I'm like, I can live with that. I'm like, I hope you're right, man, because I'm going to chase you all around this restaurant. But then they were good too, by the way. They were really good. But I was messing with dude hard because I'm like,
were they still a 7 or higher?
Oh, you know what? They were a solid 7, maybe even a little higher. They were really good, actually. They weren't bad. It was a decent joint, man. I mean, I liked it. I thought it was really good. But it was just funny because the waiter's laughing because I'm messing with him. I'm like, bro, don't be that waiter, man. Don't tell me, oh, the food here is great, and it's not. Like, dog, I'm going to take you out in the parking lot and whoop you. Like, you lied to me.
You lied.
The best way to judge a Mexican restaurant is ask them about their carne asadas. That's what I think.
Actually, I like judging them by their carnitas and barbacoa. I like judging them by that. If those two are good, it's usually pretty solid.
The
But
carne asada is good.
but I've been
the
to
whole
places
place is
where
gonna be good. I
the
promise.
steak tacos are phenomenal, but then you get barbacoa or you get carnitas, and it just it ain't good.
Let's go with Mike to this question from Frogzilla. How many balanced their books? And I mean by that is thinking about the shit you did wrong helps you do something right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anything I do wrong, I'm not going to take it as a wrong. You know what I mean? It's not like a bad decision. We make bad and good decisions daily. And all you can do is learn from it. And instead of beating yourself up nonstop about it and just being like, oh, I messed up here, I messed up there. If you focus too much on the past like that, you're not going to be presenting yourself a good future. You know what I mean? You need to really focus on here and now. If you mess up, keep it going. You know what I mean? Like learn from it, genuinely learn from it. You know what I mean? Not just put it on the back burner and it is what it is. No, learn from it. Take accountability again.
Sunshine. I can't get the picture out of my head of Danny chasing a waiter or around a restaurant.
Hey, I've done it before, Sunshine. You have no idea.
I don't know. I can't get his TikTok out of my head of his poser video. With
the sunflower.
That's funny as hell, man.
Dude, I had to do that because I'm just so sick of these fake ass people on TikTok, and half of them are all in 1% clubs, and they just put this badass tough guy persona on, and it's like, bro, listen, dog, I can literally cry and still beat the shit out of you at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not trying to be a tough guy. It's just real always recognizes real. Like, why do people got to put on this facade, man, that they're bad and they're tough and all? Like, dude, you know, my record speaks for itself, but I'm gonna sit here and pose for you because you called me a poser, like just to make people laugh. Like, and now you know what? If you see me on the street, how are you gonna look getting beat up by the guy that just did the gayest poses you've ever saw in your life? Like, are you gonna tell anybody that guy whooped your ass? Probably not.
I just like the fact that Danny did the duck face.
Yeah, that was a nice touch.
I look at it, man. Let's have fun. You know, I ain't got time to be all serious. There's a time to be serious, and when I'm serious, trust me, everybody in that situation to be aware of it. Until then, dude, I want to have fun and laugh. I don't need to be a tough guy. I don't need to tell everybody how cool I am and look at me with my colors on and all that. Come on, man. I ain't got time for that.
Right. Well, I think we'll leave it right there. We're at an hour and 15 minutes, and we really appreciate all your support on the BCAN. You can,
dude, I just got on. What the hell?
He wants to keep going.
Y'all foul.
Mike, tell them about where they can listen to the full BCAN podcast on Spotify and all that.
Yeah, guys. So we are officially on Spotify. Every single episode goes on to Spotify. All you have to do is type in BCAN podcast. Same thing on the YouTube channel. Same thing on the Instagram. The only difference is on the Instagram is at BCAN.podcast. And then we are also on Rumble, guys. Please support us on Rumble. We have a lot more freedom of speech over there. So we love doing exclusive content on Rumble as well.
Well, if you guys can really follow us on Spotify, that really helps out the show over there.
Everybody's saying the Sunday shows are too short.
It's over an hour and 15 minutes.
Hey, we need to bump it up to the 3-4 hour long, podcast.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
No.
When it's nice outside, you got me for an hour, and that's it. I'm out. I'm jumping back on the bike. Yep. Half of my podcast will probably be done on the side of the road on the bike. So
I don't know, your poor bike, man. You stripped it down, man. It's naked.
Dude, it's super naked, ain't it?
He was supposed to come see me when I was in Iowa, but his bike was down.
Oh,
well,
my God.
I'm rebuilding everything on it right now.
Man.
Hey, he ain't lying. It's down to nakedness, man.
I got the rockers off. I got all the covers off. Rocker covers.
Excuses. You knew I was
primary, cam cover, trans
Who
cover,
knows, Tommy?
a bunch of other stuff, exhaust. I mean, everything's off of that bike right now, man. Cams, the whole cam chest is completely empty because I'm doing bigger cams and cam plate and oil pump, and then I got my stereo coming too, and yeah, I got a lot of stuff going on. So trying to get it ready for this weekend. I don't know, it's gonna be touchy.
Well, rock and roll, man. China, final thoughts, anything? Or are you just a blonde in the corner?
I'm always the blonde in the corner. It doesn't even matter, dude. What the hell?
She's the queen.
Jeez.
No, I think we've all learned a lot today because I've actually learned some stuff about myself today that I should forgive myself for the little things and work on the big things at a later date.
There you go.
There you go. Yep.
There you go. All right,
I just had to come on here and ruin you, didn't I?
Yeah, right now I'm gonna hear it all night.
Much love.
Peace out, everybody. Keep it.
Talk to you guys later. Y'all be safe, and you guys rock and roll, man. Fucking A.
MCs come together making millions. Get the motor ready for the bike night race. Brag about my bike and put some dollars in your face.
I say goodbye, vamoose, adios, ciao, so long, get your hat jack.
#1 internet biker radio.